Hello, SMITTY. So, I had not forgotten you. I want to stress that, although I did believe you probably got fed up with me not doing your requests and you left my channel, but apparently that's not true. So, hadn't forgotten you, but as for the requests, remember I was looking for these for a long time. They were misplaced, okay? I had to rip the things off the top of them because one was off and the other side wasn't, and it looks stupid. Hadn't forgotten you, but had your requests that you made, especially the longer ones, had gotten lost in the cosmos of all my comments, okay? That's number one. Number two, this doesn't hurt and doesn't itch. Any idea what that might be right there? I thought it was a bite, but it doesn't hurt or itch, so I don't know what it is. It's not going away. If you can even see it at all. Remember, sometimes it's a crapshoot when I do these videos now in the bright summer sunshine, because sometimes these lights contrast with the light up there and then the video turns dark. So I want to share with you guys something that happened to me. Joe's never heard of this happening. A couple of professionals with whom I spoke this morning had never heard of this happening. And while I tell you this story, please also bear in mind that my mom is schizophrenic. She's been diagnosed. She was diagnosed schizophrenic. She's considered chronic, but her medication, keeps it under control. But her first breakdown was 40 years ago when I was approximately 10, 11 years old. Give or take a month or two. I was thinking I was out of my essay. It happened when I was nearly 11, but I think it was when I was nearly 12. I don't know, it's close enough. Doesn't matter. You gotta hear this story because this is gonna blow your mind. Maybe, maybe not. So, a couple days ago on the 3rd, okay, at the precise, and this could happen to any of you, by the way, because don't think that just because it happened to my cheap flip phone and my mom's cheap flip phone, okay, there are different companies. I want to stress that. One's one company, one's another, okay? Different companies. They're not the same cell phone company, but they are both cheap, very cheap flip phones. So at the precise moment that I am dialing out my voicemail, 1 cent for my voicemail, apparently that exact moment my mom was calling in from her, she was elsewhere, she wasn't in the, she was gone. She was calling me at that moment. So instead of getting my voicemail, I got her. Now, when I was telling Joe this story, it's like, oh my God, you gotta fucking be kidding me. No. Do you know how it happened? No, we're never gonna know how it happened, but I'm gonna share it with my viewers because I think it's wild as hell. It's Twilight Zone shit. So instead of getting my voicemail, hi, this is Laura, blah, 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 whatever, my mom was on the phone, right? And it showed that she had, was dialing in. In fact, I think it did call, how it shows, whatever. But because of that, out in the world of cell phone towers and wires and machines and all of that, somehow wires got crossed. And from that day forward, till still today, and shutting down my phone didn't help. I didn't try shutting down my mom's phone like the contractor had suggested, but we'll get into that in a second. I had to contact her. I was going to contact her anyway and say, why were you so nice to me? No, and basically it was just going to be, because she's been nice to me. I don't understand why you're so nice to me all along, only to ignore me in the end. Well, it turned out she hadn't ignored me. She hadn't got my text, but we'll set that aside. The shower door fell off. It was sticking. I've had problems with those shower doors from day one, as you know. She was supposed to come back and do the runners in my closet and do the doors, so they did the right thing, Kurt, where they crisscrossed here so you're not getting water going straight through the slit. But anyway, fell down. Luckily, I wasn't in the shower. Luckily, they didn't fall down on my elderly mom, because I have much, much quicker reflexes than does she. That's just a given. Despite what people her age sometimes want to be delusional and believe to the contrary, okay? I have to tell you, you have to accept your limitations in this life. Well, that's another story. Somehow the wires got crossed. I go to call my voicemail. This is a couple days ago, mind you. It's reaching my mom's phone. Reaching my mom's phone. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this? Why is this doing this? Alright, so I didn't understand. I thought maybe it'll fix itself. I shut my phone down. And what's interesting is every once in a while, say 99% of the time I reach my mom, but 1% of the time I could get through to voicemail, which is strange in and of itself. But anyway, don't know what happened. It's a machine, but it gets worse. Flash forward to today, 2 days later. I'm getting fed up that I still can't access my voicemail. I saw that my mom had called me and hadn't left a message, which is unlike her. She called this morning. She was out, but I was asleep, but she called me, okay? Also, when I came home last night, she was like bitching. There's something wrong with my phone, there's something wrong with my message. And I'm like, that's all she said. I'm thinking, oh, she just didn't charge it. Even Selena said, oh, she probably just didn't charge it or something. That's why it's not working. My phone's not working. My phone's not working. My phone's not working. I was trying to call you. Yeah, whatever. This morning I was getting fed up. Can't access my voicemail. So I know my home phone, Comcast. I don't know if little cheap flip phones have that feature, but my home phone, Comcast, you can actually remotely dial your voicemail. You can dial, from my cell phone, I can dial blah, 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 press pound, and I'll get, and then I can access my voicemail as if I were home, okay? Do flip phones have that? I don't know. I imagine more expensive smartphones probably do. Do flip phones? Possibly. I don't know. I thought I'd try it for the hell of it. So I go to call from my home phone, my phone number, my cell phone number, and got my mom's phone. She wasn't home. Got my mom's, oh my God, it's worse than I thought. What that means, people, if you want to use your deductive reasoning here, over the past 2 days, and remember, this is including my mom, over the past 2 days, anybody who's tried to call me, be it somebody professional, be it a friend, be it whatever, they were reaching my mom and not me. I had no idea. I was oblivious. Had no idea. I still wouldn't have known, except I was getting fed up with this. You say, well, why didn't you want to call you? Or just call your cell phone company and get to the bottom. Because you never know who you're going to get. It's a prepaid flip phone. You get sometimes the bottom of the barrel, tech people. They might just be lazy and say, oh, reset your voicemail. I don't want to reset my voicemail. I have 13 messages, voicemails. Remember, I save all my voicemails onto my computer. I do speaker onto camera memory and save it onto my computer. Particularly when my mom's locked up in mental hospitals and she's saying stuff against people I don't like, etc., etc. I save it all, baby. I have it all saved. Okay? Going all the way back to when she was saying stuff about her fucking cunt of acid. All saved. All saved. Every last fucking bit of it saved and labeled. I didn't want to go that route. So what did I do? Well, I'm a long-time good Comcast customer. I thought it's not their jurisdiction, it's not their company, but remember, my Comcast phone is also, I can find out every call that I've ever received or made over the past year or so since I've had that home phone. I can go online and do that. So I thought Comcast is more advanced than whatever tech people I'm going to get at my prepaid, because they do look at less. They do look at it as less. I know that they do. They look at prepaid because they're not getting as much money and they're less money, and they do, because there's this thing they'll say, well, you can't do this. Something's no longer available for this only if you have a regular cell phone, not a prepaid flip phone or whatever. They view it as a little less. You never know what you can get. You can get someone from another country. I just thought I'll deal with Comcast. They're more advanced, and I can be really nice and sweet, and I got somebody super nice. I explained the situation. And I said, have you ever heard of this happening? Nope. That was the first person. She's like, well, I'm tech, but I'm not phone. I'll transfer you over to phone. Okay. Phone person, super nice guy. I guess I made his day because I was thanking him up and down because he went out of his way. He doesn't have to help me. It's not a Comcast phone. Okay. It's another company. Okay. I said, have you ever heard of this happening? No, I haven't. What do you think? I'm like, tell me something. I know that I just dialed my number, my blah, blah, blah number, and it reached my mom, and I reached her voicemail, actually, so I didn't know this was happening for the past 2 days. He's like, yeah, that's weird. And I'm like, well, will you try it? Plus, where my mom will get confused. She's schizophrenic. Remember, she probably thought she was going crazy, trying to dial me and dialing herself. I want you to sink that in for my poor mom, repeatedly trying to dial me and getting herself and thinking she's doing something wrong, okay? But if I try to explain it to her, especially if she's elsewhere, out with friends or whatever, she's just not going to understand, and I don't want to deal with it unless I can try to get her to understand in person that it wasn't my fault. And when she just says, I couldn't reach her, she just thinks she's doing something wrong. She's not going to say X, Y, and Z because she doesn't know what's happening. I figured it out when I get her, when I'm dialing my number from my home phone. When she's dialing my number and getting herself, it's just when I go, it's making noise and driving her nuts. I wasn't home. I had no idea what was happening, okay? I was out doing my thing and jamming to my fucking music, mostly listening to Gloria Son's Panic Attack over and over and over, that I just discovered yesterday via Billboard Top Rock 100 for this week. Top Rock, so not Top 100, the 84, Top 40. Some of them I already had, and most of them I didn't like, but I loved that one. That was, like I said in my drunken video last night, my new best friend in song until I get sick of the song and hope to find another song like it. So, Comcast said, you're right. I got your mom. I got her voicemail. I said, you didn't get Laura, right? You got name of my mom. Yeah. Do you see what's happening? He's like, yeah. Do you know why? No. But let's do some troubleshooting. This is what he had me do. I don't know what he did. And I said to him, how did you do this when it's not your company? It's my flip phone with another different company than Comcast. He's like, I'm a tech guy. I have my ways. So he liked me. So, and I thought to myself, I'm like, yeah, that's why I called you. I thought maybe someone would help me there and at least maybe be able to figure it out, because if there's supposed to be a list of the calls, I want to know if when I'm dialing my phone number, is it actually showing her number? Well, he did figure it out. He said, go to your phone, Laura. I'm like, okay, my home phone's attached to my computer in the bedroom. I have to put it down and go find my phone. He said, I want you to dial *73. I dialed *73. He maneuvered something at his Comcast, wherever he is, and he fixed the problem, and guess what had happened? I didn't do it. And when I was trying to explain to Joe, he's like, well, do you know what happened? They're never going to know why it happened. I said, I didn't physically do it. It wires crossed 2 days ago. Twilight Zone, out in the cosmos, out in the world of wires and cell phone and internet and whatever. All my calls were being automatically forwarded to my mom's number. I didn't even know you could do that. But I bet you if I could do that, if I have that feature on that little flip phone, I bet you anything, under normal circumstances, I can dial my phone remotely. Dial my cell phone remotely from another phone. Because if it has how did I know? I mean, you're telling me I could forward my calls to anyone in the world? I could do it I wouldn't do it, but I can. But I didn't physically do it. It happened out in the cosmos. It could happen to any of you. It was that split-second thing where she was calling in as I was dialing out my voicemail, and wires crossed, and they remained crossed permanently, and it set me up to forward all my calls to her, unbeknownst to me. I could have gone for a long time without realizing this until somebody would let me know, I'm getting your mom when I dial you. Is it still going? It's still going. Okay. Is that crazy? Now I want you to bear that in mind while I tell you, my poor mom. You and I would be like, we know we're dialing, something's going on. We know what number we're dialing. To my mom, she messes up dialing all the time. And she's just thinking she's doing something wrong. And then she's thinking there's something wrong with her phone. No, Mom, it wasn't you. It wasn't your phone, but it wasn't my fault either. This happened out of our control. Good story, huh? Story you can tell people. Maybe it's happened to you. Maybe you've heard of it happen to someone. I have never heard of that happening in my life. And I'm 50 some odd years old. Joe's never heard of it happening. He's older than me. The people at the Comcast, those two people had never heard of it happening, and they were tech support. I hated that automated thing, so when I dialed in, it wanted me to choose, and then it wants to troubleshoot, so I just kept hitting 000, so it gave me tech support, I think, or I don't know what it gave me, but anyway, they'd never heard of it happening. But the key being this awesome guy, and I said, you are so awesome, thank you so much, this was out of your jurisdiction, have a great weekend. He appreciated my appreciation of him, because he probably gets people that shit on him all the time, okay? He's like, you made my day. How did I make your day? But I know how I made his day, by thanking him profusely, genuinely thanking him, because he didn't have to do it. He could say, I'm sorry, Laura, sorry, miss my last name or whatever, I'm sorry, ma'am, but we are Comcast, and this is not a Comcast problem, call that company. He didn't do that. He helped me. He fixed the issue. Figured out what it was, and I avoided somebody being lazy at my cell phone company, potentially saying, oh, if you're having a problem with voicemail, just reset it. you know, people might do that if they're being lazy and don't want to, even Joe says, if they don't want to bother trying to figure out what happened, they just the easy way, reset it. I don't want to reset it. It'll get rid of the 13 voicemails that are on there that are mostly from my mom, I'm sure, and I want to save them permanently forever onto my computer. The end.